From Washington, D.C., this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I'm Hena Zuberi. Our top story tonight. A social media movement called Blockout 2024 is gaining momentum, urging users to block celebrities who have stayed silent about Israel's genocide on Gaza. Frustration has mounted globally as many stars fail to use their influence to address the dire situation. TikToker Haley Khalil's video at the Met Gala on May 7th ignited the movement, likening celebrity indifference to Marie Antoinette's infamous "let them eat cake" remark during the French Revolution. The campaign's aim is to dent the popularity and income of silent celebrities. According to Social Blade, numerous public figures including Selena Gomez, Zendaya, Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner, Billie Eilish, Beyonce, and Rihanna lost significant followers. Kardashian notably lost 780,000 followers on Instagram, underscoring the movement's impact on high-profile personalities. A surge of Israeli airstrikes have killed 82 Palestinians in Gaza in the past 24 hours. 4 Palestinians, including a child, were killed in separate strikes on residential areas in Jabalia and Burej, the Palestinian Health Ministry reports. Israeli shelling of Gaza City neighborhoods caused further casualties. Intense gun battles have erupted in Jabalia and Rafah as Israeli military operations intensified against Palestinian armed groups. Defying international appeals, Israeli forces penetrated densely populated areas in northern Jabalia and southern Rafah, facing fierce resistance. In Gaza City, deadly air attacks targeted civilian areas, including a UN facility and apartments, killing 10 displaced Palestinians. Meanwhile, Hezbollah in Lebanon launched 60 rockets into northern Israel, causing minor damage. Israel has killed at least 35,173 Palestinians and wounded 79,061 in airstrikes and attacks on Gaza since October 7th. Israel stands accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice, which has ordered Tel Aviv to ensure its forces do not commit acts of genocide. The court has also ordered Israel to take measures to guarantee that humanitarian assistance is provided to civilians in Gaza. Palestinians across the globe mark the 76th anniversary of the Nakba, Arabic for Day of Catastrophe, on Wednesday. On May 15, 1948, about 750,000 Palestinians were forcibly expelled from their homes to pave the way for the creation of Israel. This event, remembered annually, has profoundly shaped the region's politics and continues to resonate deeply amongst Palestinians. Sirens blared for 76 seconds across Palestinian cities to honor each year since the Nakba. In Ramallah, a large crowd gathered, raising 2 fingers in a symbolic gesture of peace through victory. The Palestinian population has grown tenfold since then, reaching 14.63 million by the end of last year. However, the legacy of the Nakba endures, with many Palestinians still denied the right to return to their homeland. Israeli ongoing occupation and recent war on Gaza are seen as a continuation of the original catastrophe. This year's commemoration has been marked by fresh displacement due to Israel's war on Gaza, which is now in its 7th month. Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Mustafa reiterated Palestinians' unwavering commitment to their homeland despite Israel's intensified attacks. And illegal Israeli settlers raised the Israeli flag while storming into the Al-Aqsa Mosque complex in occupied East Jerusalem. Following calls by extremist Israeli groups, illegal settlers stormed into the masjid complex to mark Israel's Independence Day yesterday. Settlers also placed an Israeli flag on the Al-Mugharba gate area on the western side of the Holy Mosque. Palestinians consider raising the Israeli flag inside the mosque as a provocative move. They accuse Israel of taking measures to Judaize Jerusalem, including Al-Aqsa Mosque, in an attempt to erase its Islamic identity. While Israel marks May 15th as their Independence Day and Israel's creation, Palestinians mark it as Nakba Day to reaffirm their right to return to the lands from which they were forcibly displaced by Israel. The Israeli military's taking control of Rafah border crossing in Gaza has worsened the crisis in the region. The military has shut down all passages, including those for humanitarian aid, as part of its preparation for a ground operation in the region. On the 7th day of the border crossing's closure, Palestinian truck drivers continued to wait there to cross into Egypt. The Israeli army launched a ground attack last week in Rafah, a temporary shelter to more than 1.5 million displaced Palestinians. It also captured the Palestinian side of the Rafah crossing, a vital route for humanitarian aid and the territory's only gateway to the outside world that bypasses Israel. The State Department is calling for the safety of more than 20 doctors stranded in Gaza following the closure of the Rafah border crossing. Spokesman Vedant Patel emphasized the urgency of the situation. He stressed Washington's direct engagement with Israeli and Egyptian authorities to ensure the safe departure of the medical team. The international medical team includes American citizens. Patel underscores the critical need for open borders for humanitarian aid and the evacuation of foreign nationals. The doctors who were scheduled to leave after a 2-week mission now face perilous conditions due to the closure initiated by Israel following recent military actions. With Gaza's sole route to the outside world blocked, concerns are mounting over the severe humanitarian crisis, including shortages of essential supplies. Columbia University's adjunct professor led crackdown against students after the break. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Welcome back. New York City Mayor Eric Adams credits Rebecca Weiner, an adjunct professor at Columbia University, for leading a crackdown against students advocating for a free Palestine at the school. The police raid saw arrests of nearly 300 students peacefully protesting against Israel's war on Gaza. Weiner also serves as intelligence director of the New York Police Department. Adams says she monitored the situation and authorized the forceful clearance of protesters. The crackdown occurred after students occupied Hamilton Hall, demanding the university divest from Israeli-related investments. Weiner, stationed just meters away from the protest, acts as a liaison between the police and Israeli security. She has drawn scrutiny for her involvement in controversial programs targeting Muslims and advocates. Weiner claims the raid was due to student rhetoric associated with terrorism, but failed to specify external instigators. Despite criticisms, she has defended her actions, highlighting the need to address what she perceives as radicalization amongst protesters. The Council on American Islamic Relations is calling out the complicity of university leaders in enabling recent Islamophobia and anti-Palestinian racism. A report by the nation's largest Muslim advocacy group exposes how universities have suppressed activists for Palestinian human rights advocacy. It documents incidents from October 2023, revealing universities' support for attacks on these communities with minimal consequences. CAIR delivered the report to more than 400 university leaders, urging them to cease silencing protesters and combat bigotry against Palestinians, Muslims, and Arab students. It emphasizes the importance of universities engaging in constructive dialogue with protesters instead of resorting to police violence and disciplinary measures. CAIR Research and Advocacy Director Corey Saylor condemned the use of the force and emphasized the need for universities to respect student rights and address their legitimate demands. The report underscores the surge in civil rights complaints, reaching 8,061, the highest in CAIR's 30-year history. The group Harvard Out of Occupied Palestine, or HOOP, peacefully concludes its 20-day sit-in in Harvard Yard, ending the university's prominent Free Palestine protest. Negotiations between University President Alan Garber and HOOP organizers led to an agreement. Harvard has committed to reinstating at least 22 students on involuntary leaves of absence and facilitating discussions on divestment. The university will expedite cases for more than 60 students involved in the protest, offering leniency based on past actions. Meetings are also scheduled between HOOP members Garber and Dean Hopi Hoekstra to discuss perspectives on Israel's occupation of Palestine. HOOP has proposed establishing a Palestine Studies Center. Garber acknowledged the profound emotions surrounding the occupation, emphasizing the importance of constructive dialogue and pursuing change grounded in shared rights and responsibilities. The Minnesota Attorney General's office has initiated legal action against Chadwick Benkin and his limited liability corporations. It is for allegedly exploiting the East African Muslim community through deceptive real estate practices. Benkin is accused of violating state and federal laws, including discrimination based on religious grounds. He's accused of employing contracts for deed to sell homes at inflated prices and unfavorable terms to Muslim buyers. Attorney General Keith Ellison emphasized the significance of the case in deterring similar predatory schemes. Benkin faces allegations of manipulating buyers into default through exorbitant down payments and balloon payments, leading to loss of property ownership. The lawsuit follows a 2022 investigation revealing exploitation within the Somali community. Abdi Noor Igal, a victim of Benkin's alleged scheme, expressed relief upon hearing the news, having endured financial devastation due to the fraudulent transactions. American artificial intelligence company Openai has unveiled its new model, named GPT-4o, which is much faster compared to previous models. GPT-4o, which O stands for Omni, is a step towards more natural human-computer interaction. It accepts input of any combination of text, audio, and image, while generating any combination of text, audio, and image outputs. GPT-4o is also better at vision and audio understanding compared to existing models, according to the company. It says the new model can reason across audio, vision, and text in real time. Microsoft-backed Openai says GPT-4o has also undergone extensive learning with more than 70 experts in domains such as social psychology, bias, and fairness, and misinformation to identify risks introduced by newly added modalities. Leaders of a rights movement in Pakistan's administered Kashmir halted protests following the government's acceptance of demands for reduced wheat flour and electricity prices in a review of privileges. Despite ending protests, they declared a shutdown to mourn 3 residents allegedly killed by paramilitary forces. Leader Shaukat Nawaz Mir condemned the killings and demanded punishment for the perpetrators, along with a judicial inquiry and release of detained activists. The region, which is also known as Azad Jammu and Kashmir, is grappling with rising costs amidst Pakistan's 17% inflation. It has witnessed protests results in arrests and violent clashes. Pakistan's President Asif Zardari called for peaceful dialogue. An international halal market fair opened in the Russian city of Kazan, the provincial capital of Tatarstan. More than 40,000 attendees are expected for the event, which began yesterday and runs until May 19th. It will showcase 4,500 halal standard products from global sources across a 5,000 square meter area. Rustam Minikhanov, head of the Republic of Tatarstan and deputy chairman of the organizing committee, said the dynamic growth of the global halal market has offered varied opportunities. He said that there are 100 halal producers in Tatarstan alone. The market fosters new trade ties, offering diverse goods from Russian regions and beyond. Its organizers' Kazan Forum agenda encompasses trade, investments, Islamic finance, and various sector development. Activities include business discussions, modest fashion day, and a culinary competition. The market attracts visitors from 80 countries and now ranks amongst the region's top economic summits. It was granted federal status by a decree signed by Russian President Vladimir Putin, placing it alongside Vladivostok and St. Petersburg's economic forums. That's all from our Washington, D.C. studios tonight. Thank you for tuning in. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest updates. Your support is needed more than ever to continue our mission of providing informative, educational, and inspiring content to Muslims in North America and around the world. Donate now by visiting Muslim Network TV/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV or visit our website. Assalamu alaikum and good night.